Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Josh. I'm going to be, your host today. Welcome to everyone, including our friends from Aatrix. Today's event, while hosted by Church Windows, is really about Aatrix eFile today. I've got a web page up here before we get started on our topic. We're going to hand it off to those folks here momentarily. As always, everybody, we're recording today's event. We're a little unsure about how long the event or how long it will take to conclude the topic for today, but we'll try to keep it to 30 minutes or less. But again, if you're unable to attend or stay for the entire event and you have to duck out, just be aware the video will be out on our Resource Center page as quickly as humanly possible. So I'm just going to take a quick second and go to our website, of course, under our Resource Center. I mean here at www.churchwindows.com under Customer Support and Resource Center. That's where this will be listed. But we do so appreciate everybody joining us today. If you have questions, please type those into the Q&A section or portion or panel of the Zoom control panel. Again, we're so grateful for everybody joining us, including the folks from Aatrix. Just a couple more things. Well, our topic today is, I'm going to let Scott and Nisa talk more about that. Looks like compliance, security, and peace of mind. Yes, if I'm not mistaken about that. We're going to be talking about some Efile packages and pricing for, I believe, state and federal forms. And also, and I think this is one that I'm really, really interested in myself, is in the 941 EFTPS payments demo. Okay. Before I turn things over to Scott and Nisa, really quickly here, folks, under the Resource Center page, we are going to have an event next month on the 941 for how the form is processed through Church Windows. But in the meantime, we do have the Payroll 941 filing instructions right here in the document and video for those of you who are wanting to get that information out as soon as, or get that form filed as soon as possible. But it will be updated with next month's webinar event that we are going to be scheduling for April. Let me take a quick look at my notes here. So that's where I'm going on this. I'm done, folks. So let me go ahead and get things turned over to Scott and Nisa, and we'll let them go from there. So off you go, folks.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes. Just fine. Yep, you're doing great.
All right, perfect. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for taking some time to join us today. Today, we really are going to focus on how Aatrix can assist you in your quarterly payroll reporting filing options. We are already integrated with the Church Windows software. Most of you may have already used us within the Aatrix W-2, 1099, and maybe 1095 e-filing services. But today we really want to focus on showing you the full capacities of how our software works with Church Windows so we can help you save some money and time. So my name is Nisa Rajput, and I am the Partner Account Executive here at Aatrix Software, and I've been with the company for about 5 years. I probably have spoken to some of you over the phone or over chat, helping you get set up for your accounts and e-file packages or just general information. But today I'm here to show some of you that may not know what Aatrix is and what we do in terms of payroll reporting, that some of the options that exist within the product can definitely help you save on money and time. So thank you and stay tuned. Derek, can you hear us?
Yes, I didn't know if Scott was going to go or not. I'm Derek Korchek here. Thanks, Nisa. Basically, I am a supervisor of forms content team, but I also work a lot with our support team, so I know a little bit or a lot about that type of stuff. I will be here and available to answer a lot of the questions that you may have. So another reminder that if you have those questions, you can just put those in the Q&A section, and I'll be able to monitor those throughout the webinar today.
And hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Scott Coleman. I'm the Director of ISV Partner Sales at Aatrix Sovos, and I've been in the sales and partnership world for most of my career and working in tax compliance for well over a decade. If you guys attended the year-end webinar, welcome back. If you didn't, nice to meet you. And speaking of partnerships, again, I said this last time, I'll say it again. I really appreciate the tight partnership that we're able to have with the Church Windows folks. They've been great, and we appreciate the opportunity to have the invitation to come here and spend a little time with you folks today. So we don't have, like as Josh mentioned, we don't have a ton of time today. We're going to try to pack in a bunch of stuff in a short amount of time. So let's take a quick look at what our agenda looks like today. I'm going to go over some of the reporting challenges and the benefits that you folks will reap from using Aatrix. And then I'm going to hand it off to Nisa, and she is going to walk us through just a big picture view of how does it work, a demo, talk a little bit about the pricing, and then if you're not doing it, be able to tell you how to get started. We're going to tell you a bunch of different ways to be able to connect with us here at Aatrix, and of course, put questions in the Q&A, but we'll also have an official Q&A at the end. All right. So obviously there are a whole host of reporting challenges out there when you talk about payroll tax, and we see a bunch of them here represented in this graphic. The challenges are plentiful, they're complex, and obviously things are constantly changing, right, from year to year. A couple that stick out here, ones we see at the bottom of the graphic, multiple agencies, complex filing formats. We're going to hit on those too, and those are a lot of the, what you see here are a lot of the challenges that the payroll administrator deals with. And the good news is that's what Aatrix can help with, right? We can certainly help you save with time, money, and with accuracy with a lot of these things. So the big question is, what is your time worth, right? And you can kind of look at this in a couple of ways. You can look at what's the true dollar value, right? What does it cost actually for you and your team to complete the work of payroll and payroll reporting? But you can also look at the opportunity cost, right? What else can you do if you outsource these tasks to a company like Aatrix? What else could you do with that time that you gain back, or those funds that you gain back? I don't know if you've done any calculations on what it actually costs to complete these tasks within your organization. But you can see here, most businesses don't, right? Actually look that up. The average business spends about 5 hours per pay period completing payroll overall, right? Which includes a substantial amount of time for calculating, filing, and paying those payroll taxes, which is kind of what we're talking about today. That's a big chunk of the year, right? 21 days per year, and we're talking about streamlining some of those processes. Studies actually show that the process of completing the payroll reports takes longer than the paychecks themselves. So hopefully, what we're talking about here can save you a big chunk of time from the estimates that you're seeing here. So let's take a quick look at what the typical payroll filing process looks like. And in this case, in this first case, we're talking about, making the assumption that Aatrix is not actually helping you. So obviously, you've got to gather the data from your payroll software. You're probably visiting the various state and federal agencies to upload or manually enter the data. And with that means you have to keep track of all your login credentials, obviously, can be a big pain. And we know that the state websites and government websites just in general are not that easy to use, so you've got to deal with all that. Then you need to manually fill in, review, and edit the information. By the way, all manual processes, right? When you think about where do errors come up along the way, it's because of manual processes. So by eliminating those, you're really taking out that huge potential of errors occurring. Then you're going to finally submit the filing. And in many states, that means you have to wait for confirmation, which might include, checking back in periodically to make sure that it's all, that everything is done correctly. Anywhere from 1 to 3 hours, I'd say minimum, to be able to complete this process. And of course, that depends on the size of the business, how many jurisdictions you're having to file in, that sort of thing. So if you look at what it looks like with Aatrix, right? First of all, Aatrix is integrated directly into church windows. So the good news is it's a very quick 3 to 4 step process, maybe, all done in probably 5 to 10 minutes. So big savings of time, and a big increase in accuracy with the data that gets filed. So other than the massive time savings that we've shown here, what are some other advantages of using Aatrix? It doesn't matter what filing format or filing method is required by the agency that you're filing with. When it's filed with Aatrix, we guarantee that the filing will be made in the right format. That's especially nice if you happen to be moving into a new area. I know a lot of you kind of are set and you're doing business in that one area, but if you do happen to expand into a different area or have some different filing requirements, you know that Aatrix is going to cover you there. In total, Aatrix runs over 1,875 error checks in the background during the filing process. So I know you guys are probably trying to double check the accuracy of your data. Aatrix is triple checking to make sure that everything is right before it gets filed. And because of this error checking, the agency rejection rate that we have is extremely low. So the chance that you guys have any kind of fines or penalties greatly reduced. Plus, we are constantly keeping up. Derek's joined us today. He's on the forms team. We are constantly keeping up with all of our forms to make sure that the correct and updated version is being filled out and filed every single time. So if there's a new form for the year, no problem. We have it. We're going to file it correctly. And security, obviously tantamount and very important. It's essential. We consider it essential. We are regularly audited and undergo intrusion testing to ensure our systems, all of our systems, meet the very highest standard. We are SOC 2 Type 2 and HIPAA certified, and then all of our security reports are available to our customers if you go to our website on the About tab at aatrix.com. All right, so now I'm going to hand it off to Nisa so she can share some more great information with you, as well as give you a quick look at the product I think I told you, and then the pricing, and show you how to get started. So Nisa, it is all yours.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, great information there. So just kind of piggybacking off what Scott mentioned, taking that manual process and now simply somewhat automating that, that can be done right through your Church Windows product. So on the next slide, you will see just some screenshots that we've taken of how to access these forms right within your Church Windows. If you open up your software, you'll see like a payroll export tab. Right there within that list, you will see a tax form. Once you select that tax form, you will get a form selector. On this form selector, and when I go ahead and demo that product here in a second, you can kind of toggle on between the federal or the state option, but you will have all the payroll reports that are offered right through your Church Windows and Aatrix integration software. So I will go ahead and share my screen so I can show you what that kind of looks like. So taking over. All right, hope everyone can see my screen and you can see that form selector. So right on this page, as you can see, I have that list of all the federal forms. What is nice about this form selector is that if you're not too sure about what the form is, or maybe they have like different names, especially on the state side of things, we do have descriptions on the right hand side here, as you can see. So it does kind of give you a nice little description of the form once you toggle on it. If you select the state, we do file for all 50 states, so anything with withholding, unemployment, all those good stuff, payments, you can just select the state, select the report, and then you can easily just start your process. But for today, I am going to show you all how to e-file a federal tax deposit, because I know a lot of us may be needing to file e-file payments, and maybe what you're doing right now is manually. You're probably going to the federal website, or you're probably going to the state websites, especially for those who are multi-state, companies, this is a great option for you because it just helps simplify things by not wasting time visiting those websites, not getting confirmations, not having peace of mind is, hey, did my printed form actually make it, to the agencies? So this is a great way to kind of show you that. So this is a demo, so most of my information is going to be probably somewhat outdated in some shape or fashion. It won't have like the most recent stuff, but it's just to give you an idea. When you do select the form as a first-time user in Aatrix, you will get a company setup. And I don't have that up here just specifically for the time I want to get to mostly just like the meat and potatoes. But that company setup is essentially just getting you to verify your company information. It's going to ask you, is this the right EIN we are filing for? Is this the right contact information? What sort of preparer you are, just the basic information you have used to essentially enroll with Aatrix. And I will talk a little bit about that right after this, which is what you would need to do in order to e-file any report with Aatrix. Some of you may have already done that, like I mentioned, if you have used our e-filing service for year-end. But if you're not, we can go ahead and show you how that really works. So over here on my screen, I do have the EFTPS payment made. So if you see a red box, that means that some of the information is missing. Typically, you will not find a lot of these red boxes on your form because the information does get pushed out of your church windows right onto the form. So you do want to make sure that information is current and up to date within your church windows so that when we get that information onto the form, you're really just reviewing. And just to kind of go off of what Scott said, it is really going to take 5 minutes. It's taking a little bit more now because I'm explaining the process, but ultimately it's just click, 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 next step. You're just reviewing, right? So I purposely did kind of put this in just to kind of show you guys what it would look like if you did get that. The blue boxes are editable. So note, if you do make a change, let's just say you found that there's a misspelling or whatever in a name, do go back into your church Windows software and make that permanent change there. The form, once we get that information, is not synchronized back to your tables in church Windows. So please make sure you make those edits permanently there, but you are allowed to make those edits here on the fly. But as you can see, the complete replica took all that information pretty well. I'm just reviewing it. I'm next stepping it. It's asking me, do I want to verify again? Those error checks we are continuously doing as you submit the form. I'm good with this, so I'm going to go ahead and agree. I'm going to go ahead and next step. And you do have the option of printing the form. So if you do want to keep any statement copies at the time, this is your opportunity to do that right now. Again, the whole point of this is so you do not print and mail. We're trying to show you that whole e-file service here. So I'm going to select the e-file option. Now it is going to ask me for my credentials that I use to enroll or create my account with. Did mention that I put an error in here, so this is just telling me that I might be a little few cents in terms of my off my deposit, but this is a soft error, so I'm just gonna go ahead and press next. Go ahead and going ahead, and I'm gonna put my username and password login information that I had already created prior to e-filing with Aatrix. And it's just going to ask me again one more time, can you please confirm my enrollment information? I'm filing for the EIN. This is my address. As we are updating this form, there is a signature form that is required for us to e-file, and that is the e-file authorization form. It's required for any of the forms that we have on file, so we do require that you get that over to us prior to filing. It basically is just to authorize Aatrix on behalf of you that we are sending these files to the agencies, and if there's any information missing, that we can get that from you and send it to them. So click next there. It will ask you within the product to select an e-file package if you haven't already, which is what I'm going to be talking about a little bit later. Most of you maybe are just filing a 941, but if you don't know that you can file your unemployment or your new hire reports or your payments, we have a bundle that I'm going to talk about in the pricing section where it will help you save some money. So just for the sake of today, I'm just going to say no, just to kind of show you what that pricing will look like if you did, and if you just went a la carte one by one. For this payment, you do also have the option of making that payment right through Aatrix, which is secure, which is also going to give you a confirmation that the money has obviously been withdrawn. Rather than making that payment on your own, you may forget. We have a ton of things on our plate. Making a payment is something that we want to make sure you get it on time, especially with the feds and the state agencies. So you can set up your bank account information right in your Aatrix account. We are facilitated through an ACH type process. Once that is set up and you select the date for your payment, the federal or state agency will automatically then withdraw that amount right out of your account. So you don't have to hassle about sending a check or wondering if it made it on time. This is all automated for you. So I'm going to go ahead and select a date. I know it has to be a few days out. So just going to go select my date for my payment to be withdrawn. If you didn't have that e-file package, it will charge you that base cost of $9.99. But if you have that e-file package, you won't really have to go through this process at all. You just next step until you get your confirmation. So this is just my confirmation letting me know that this is the, the filing, the cost. Once I click submit, you will then also get 2 confirmations to your email that you did put on file, and also one goes into your Aatrix administration account. And you'll also get a 7-digit AFID number. That AFID number is an Aatrix filing identification number. For any reason, if you have any questions about any filing associated with an Aatrix e-file, when you call sales or when you call our support, if you have that number handy, they can essentially pull up your file or your record, and they can, talk through some of the questions that you may have whilst being able to see some of your filing details. If you do not get the 7-digit number, that means that you have not finished the process of actually submitting. So please make sure you hit submit and you get that 7-digit number, which is your confirmation that Aatrix has now received the file at our filing center for us then to transmit over to the agencies for you. Okay, so that concludes kind of just like the demo portion. I am going to go back into my slides here and take over on how that enrollment works. So as you can see on my screen here, like I mentioned, the enrollment is something that you would need to do prior to e-filing. It is a free enrollment. One of the ways that you could do that is you can go to our Aatrix partner website. This partner page is really helpful. It has all our pricing for our different services, just general information about Aatrix and Church Windows. So you can enroll now right on the home page. This is kind of what the form looks like. It just requires a username and a password. I always ask my customers to keep that pretty generic because once you create a username, you can't change it. So stay away from any personal names, things like that. But once that's created, you can get logged into your account. You can also log into your account from that partner page, or you can go to efile.aatrix.com. Either one works. It's just a preference. You can bookmark any of the links. So over here we have a couple of tabs, and I want to quickly go over some of the main ones that will pertain to you, especially for your payroll reporting. So the companies tab. Now, if you are a multi-EIN, filer, you can choose to enroll the taxpayers under one account, like I have done here in this example. Or if you do choose to keep different username and password like accounts for each company, you can do so. I highly recommend, it's nice to keep it under one account so you just have that one username and password to remember. I mean, we don't want to add more of those password, resets for different accounts. We already have too many at work, right? Let's just keep it simple with the one account. When you do go into the, if you do select one of the EINs like I have done here, here's that print e-file authorization form that is required needed for all forms, except for the year end. Just want to make sure. That's W-2s, 1099s, 1095s do not need that. It's just all the other federal and state payroll reports that we need that form for. As you can see, company information, contact information, all got transferred when you enrolled on that form list. That banking account information was there for, so if you needed to make any payments, you can go ahead and put that in there as well. Now, let's just say you are filing for multiple states. You do have to set up those states within the e-file account. So I've just gone ahead and selected all just to kind of show you. There will be some state requirements, whether it be like a PIN or it could be like a login information. Now, maybe you got those PINs already. You might just need to add it next to the add button there. It might require you to add it so that we can get that PIN so that we can file on behalf of you through the e-filing process, or if you have that username and password. And if you don't, not a problem. We do have these information bubbles right next to the forms here on the left. If you don't know what you require, just go ahead and click on that and we will give you like a sheet of instructions on how to obtain those login informations for your state specific. Getting started on that e-file package I was talking about, that can easily be purchased in two ways. You can go right through your account under the pricing tab, you select your EIN, you select your package, you check out. Or if you're not too sure of maybe your employee accounts or maybe what forms you need to file, just pick up the phone and call us in sales. And we'll be happy to assist you with more information and also then apply the package right to your account. It's pretty much at the time you purchase it, it's already active and available for you to go ahead and use. All right. Some of the filing tabs gives you some filing details. So this is what I talked about, that AFID number. You can look up that number. You can look up the details on your filing so you can get that information. You have that peace of mind that you can know, like, okay, has it been rejected? Has it been accepted? If it was rejected, why was it rejected? We do give you an email stating what you may need to do in order to amend it. So you don't get that when you do it manually, right? You don't get someone like calling you. You may even find out that you didn't even file it, or your file never made it to the agency. At least this way you have that confirmation, that peace of mind that my form was submitted. So if they do come back and say, hey, we can't find it, we can definitely have that receipt that it was sent. So talking a little bit about the pricing and how the packages work. The point of the e-file package is to help, especially those companies with like high, high employee counts, but also just high number of reports that you may be filing. So this e-file package is designed to help you save money with an unlimited 12-month subscription from the date of purchase that will allow you to file as many times of these forms here listed on the left-hand side. So if you were filing manually or you are visiting numerous state websites, you don't have to do that. You can easily just go right through your church window software, select the form like I showed you, and click on e-file. It's that simple. So for example, if you are a company that has maybe up to 100 employees, you would be looking at your package price for the year for $439. This package does not include the W-2s or the 1099s or the 1095s. Just want to make that clear. It is just simply the federal and state withholding, new hire, unemployment payment type forms. And if you feel that you're kind of like on the cusp of like maybe you have 102 employees, right? What would you do then? Do I need to upgrade to the next level? Well, you can go a la carte and it'll just charge you like maybe 55 cents per employee, or if you know that, you're going to be switching a package later in the year because you're a construction company. I know most of these are faith-based, but for whatever reason, if there's like a huge growth, we can have that conversation, and we can prorate that amount of that difference. So we can work with you guys on that. But ultimately, how do you get started? If you are new to Aatrix, welcome. We are here to help you, save, your time and money. It's pretty simple. You just enroll with us at Aatrix at our partner page for church windows. Select your Efile package, or just look at the options of the forms that we have, available. And if you are a returning customer, we appreciate your business. We just would like you guys to take advantage of that Efile package, of course, and make your filing process easier and just help you save more time and money, right? So that kind of concludes, the presentation. We do have 3 ways that you can reach out to Aatrix. Email, the sales, then the help me is the support, the phone, sales, and then the support. And if you don't want to talk to us in person, not a problem. You can join us on live chat. And I'm saying that because you'll probably get me on the sales side of the chat. And, we're all about just assisting you. So we do have those times available from 8 to 5 Central. And we also do have a a support chat as well.
Why wouldn't they want to talk to us, Nisa? Why? Of course they would. Of course they would. But
they will now. They will now.
Exactly. And I'm joking, but it's to me, I want to make the point that we have real live people answering the phone, right? Whether we're talking on a chat, it's not a chat bot, it's not someone totally unrelated to the organization. These are real people that do this every day, and you can chat with them, email with them, or talk to them live on the phone, which I think is fabulous.
Absolutely. Yes. So thanks, Scott. And that concludes, I would say, the presentation, the demo. Josh, do we have some time for questions? I don't know if there have been questions coming through whilst we've been presenting.
That's a good question. Let me open up the Q&A. Looks like Derek really only had one that came in. It was about not seeing the slides and just steering them over to the tabs. So folks, if you have questions for these wonderful folks, please go ahead and enter those in the Q&A section there. And we'll see what we can't do to get, keep an eye on that. And we'll certainly go ahead and repeat the questions so everybody can benefit from that. But it was very thorough. I certainly was happy to have learned some new things about it. I think, frankly, what your packages include is a really amazing value, honestly, considering, like, as you point out, one with the time, but the idea that, that you're willing to facilitate even the deposits included as part of that is really, really fantastic. I'm a fan of your folks, of your interface now. I've been doing this for a couple of years now with this, and we're even doing some events next month on how to go in and do some amendments or corrections to previous filings. And as I've continued to work with that, it's remarkably simple, and I want to be able to communicate that with our customers and users too, how easy it really is to have it go in. And once it kicks it into your system, it's literally, as you point out, just a few mouse clicks, and boom, it's done. I'm a fan. I'm sold. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping folks are going to take advantage of this. So I'm not seeing any other questions coming in. I think that just means that you've done a very good and thorough job with regards to communicating that. What you folks have anything else you want to add anything to this, or?
I think Scott? Just, don't hesitate. Yeah, I would say just, we've got a lot of different ways that you can talk to us. Please don't hesitate to reach out, right? If you got any questions whatsoever, Nisa and others at Aatrix, more than happy to chat with you about your options and kind of direct you down the right path. So please don't hesitate to reach out.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Scott. It's good because honestly, we do refer our customers to you when we don't know the answer to it, right? When we don't know the answer to things, we're basically going to say, contact the Aatrix folks. They're nice. They're real people. They're willing to answer your questions. They want to do right by you. So, we do that, and sometimes you folks bounce them back to us, but that's okay. because, hopefully we get answers about things. We work on it together and ultimately we get it worked out for the customer. So, yeah.
All right. Appreciate the opportunity to share a little time with you guys today.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and end the event for everybody. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Nisa. We'll be in touch about maybe another event, doing something different in future as well. So
absolutely.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
Josh.
you
Have a
guys.
great day,
All
everyone.
righty. Take care. And thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Bye-bye.